Hey, tell us, Mr. Hill, what are you wearing this fine July 1st day?
I'm wearing my PPE.
Max would say, Monster, Grandpa, monster.
Yeah, we might have to get a concrete drain disc
Because not only do we have the little clips that were in the way, the concrete that was underneath the little clips is in the way. So how many trips to town did you just make? And why?
because I muffed up.
What'd you do?
I got the wrong size drill bits. But in my defense,
There's always an in my defense.
the screws were 3/16, and when I got to the deal, I seen the 3/16 concrete drill bits, and so that's what I grabbed when I should have grabbed the 5/32 drill bits. So, live and learn. Done this right.
That sounds good. That's thick. So handy having that big machinery. As you can see behind me, we have got probably about 3/4 of our bottom row done. So the one nice thing about being married to a perfectionist, well, a couple of things. I know that this bottom row is going to be absolutely positively perfect. It is a test of my patience, not to just making sure it's getting right. I understand why we need to make sure it needs to be perfect, especially for this bottom row. I know that once we get the bottom row in place, we'll be able to just bing, bang, boom, get those blocks up there. But just seeing the process, like I said the other day, just it seems like it's taken so long to get to this point. So just seeing that progress, my patience just gets a little bit antsy, not seeing that progress being made. but I do know that those walls are going to be perfect. They look really, really good so far. Let me give you a little sneak peek. So I'm going to try to get down here so you can kind of see. So there is our east wall, and he looks at it and he sees a few little whoop-de-doos and whatnot. I look down it and it looks pretty near darn perfect. Yeah. I'm gonna videotape you doing stupid stuff.
Why not? People laugh at me doing stupid stuff.
Yeah, because you're such a dork.
I am not a dork.
You are a dork.
I am a total hunk stuff.
You are a dork. You are a dork. So I walked away. Was that too high, too low?
No, it was just right.
That one was just right.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're just right, it's really nice and easy because then he can just go through and screw them in.
I'm feeling a little square today.
See, there you go, being a dork. Actually, it's a rectangle. You feel like a rectangle today.
Yeah, I do.
Nice thing is it is a 4-day weekend. It is the 4th of July weekend, so the push isn't on quite as bad as it would be if we just had the weekend. If you haven't noticed, the only time we have to work on this project is the weekends. So that there is pretty much perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So is that one. We do have a little X there, meaning that at some point in time when Charlie measured it yesterday, it was a little bit too high. But so that one's a little bit. No. Are you pushing down? You had to push down on it. So a steady beep on the grade stick means that it's level with our digital laser. So he'll have to cut some of those nubbins off. Always a dork. So we've got the first layer all done. Just took 2 days. But we know it's pretty much perfect. We have started putting rebar in. We've already got half of the rebar in. That's easy peasy, and then we'll be able to start stacking the other 2 rows. Kind of reminds me of when the boys were little and they were building Lego houses. They just kind of remind me of Legos. Saga continues with our water situation. I was running the sprinkler last night. Now I haven't been running it a lot, just enough to try to get my grass green. And the sprinkler stopped. Well, we came up here and the cistern is completely empty. I don't know if you can see we got a teeny tiny little bit of water clear down there at the bottom. Anyhow. So the guys came out and they did everything that they could do, called their service people. It looks like we might have to have a new pump put down in the wellhead.
Yep.
And it's only been a month. I think somebody's trying to tell us something. I just wanted to show you. We had bought this. We are not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. We had bought this pop-up from Harbor Freight. I can't remember the brand. Paid maybe $160 for it. And we have gone through pop-ups like crazy. Yesterday, a big old wind gust came, and we had it tied down. We had it tied down. Let me show you. We had it tied down to these concrete things we had made years ago. Anyway, a big old wind gust came up, and the wind blows up here quite a bit. It's nice and still this morning, but a big old wind gust came up, and before I could grab a hold of it, because I was sitting right beside it, up and over the stem wall, ripped on some of our rebar, upside down into the middle of the path. Anyway, this morning, you wouldn't even tell. One of the legs was bent. We bent it back into shape. So, yeah, the $160 Harbor Freight, money well spent. Well, happy 4th of July. You'll be seeing this, of course, after the 4th of July. But we're on our fourth day of the long weekend, getting our stem walls in place. We got quite a bit done yesterday with quite a few distractions. But we worked along. Let me show you what we got done. Got our second row of stem wall. We still need to put the rebar in, but that will take, I think yesterday it took us 45 minutes to an hour to get the rebar all in the first row. So about an hour or so this morning to get the rebar in the second row, and then we'll be putting on the third row. We got a pretty good system in place. Then we need to take our lumber and make stabilizing arms, Charlie says, for the stem walls. That just keeps them in place and supported until we get concrete in them. It makes sure that any little whoop-de-doos, it takes those out. So yeah, big white box. We are starting. Charlie's already got while I was cleaning up lunch, he's already got the third and final row. We don't have it clipped down or rebar in it, but he's already got the third and final row of the box blocks on. So, kind of blinding with the sun shining on it. So I just wanted to show we've got all 3 layers on now. Step back here so you can kind of see how that looks. So all of the openings you see there's one right there, and there's one right over there. Charlie has to cut out those are our expansion joints. So I'll show you, about a 1/4 of an inch gap, 1/2 inch gap on each of the 4 walls. So there's the expansion gap for this wall. So of course, where we hit the expansion gap, we went back, so we would work from corner to expansion gap, stop, and then work from corner to expansion joint and stop. So each of these, where the expansion joint, and there's the one for over there, that is where we need to cut a little piece of the block to put in there. But I just wanted to show you. It's just kind of, I don't know, I find it interesting. So our walls, this is of course before we cut out for the doors. So if you just look down that, you can kind of see some of the, the going back and forth along there, but that is pretty darn straight. Pretty darn level, I should say, not necessarily straight. Our bracing, so we've got 2x4s by 16s. They're over here on the trailer. So now we make some braces that will actually take out all of that whoop-de-doo. Got the third wall up there, and Charlie says, "Wow, that's really big." You couldn't really tell when it was just the foundation, but it is actually pretty good size. I am standing, I don't know if you can see, in relation to where the house will actually start. So I get 34 feet.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful.